and welcome to Cozy Fireplace Stories. Settle in, get comfortable, and let tonight's chapter unfold by the fire.
Chapter 2, The Weight of Fate. Nikolai. The morning light crept through my curtains, softer than usual, but it didn't feel comforting. I sat on the edge of my bed for too long, rubbing my hands over my face, trying to shake the heaviness clinging to me. Normally, mornings were easy, routine, steady. Today, everything felt strange, like the air itself had changed overnight. Downstairs, the smell of rice porridge and steamed buns drifted through the house. Mom was already bustling in the kitchen, apron tied over her dress, humming as she worked. She looked up the moment I came in, eyes narrowing. "Little Nick, you didn't sleep well," she said immediately, like it wasn't even a question. She slid a bowl toward me. "Eat more. You need strength." "I'm fine, Mom," I murmured, but the words felt flat, even to my own ears. Father was already at the table with the morning paper, though I knew he hadn't missed a thing. His eyes flicked up, sharp and quiet, watching me longer than usual before returning to the print. I sat and spooned porridge mechanically. It tasted like it always did. Warm, simple, made with love. But it was like my tongue didn't recognize it. My mind kept slipping away, circling back to the cafe, to the moment the bell rang, and he walked in. That alpha, the way he had looked at me. The way his scent had wrapped around me, cinnamon, sweet and rich, too close to my favorite memory to be a coincidence. "Little Nick," Mom's voice cut through my thoughts. I blinked and realized my spoon had stilled halfway to my mouth. "You're daydreaming again." I forced a smile, soft and small, just tired. Her hand brushed over my hair, fingers lingering like she'd done when I was a child. "Then rest after work today," she said gently. "Don't push yourself." I nodded, though I knew rest wouldn't come easily. Not with that voice echoing in my head. Not with that scent still clinging to me like a shadow I couldn't escape. The cafe smelled the same as always, fresh espresso, sugar, butter melting into warm pastries. The ovens hummed, the machines hissed, sunlight spilled across the wooden counters. Everything should have felt ordinary, safe, but it didn't. My hands fumbled more than once, pouring too much milk into a latte, forgetting sugar in an order I knew by heart. Sarah, my co-worker and friend, raised an eyebrow as she slid a tray of croissants into the display. "You're distracted, little Nick," she teased, brushing flour from her apron. "What's got your head in the clouds, thinking about someone?" Heat crept to my cheeks. "No," I said quickly, maybe too quickly. I focused on wiping down the counter, though my cloth kept circling the same spot. Sarah laughed softly. If you say so." I tried to ground myself in the rhythm of the day, the regulars shuffling in, the steady hum of conversation, the warm comfort of routine. But everything kept slipping sideways, like a song played half a beat off, because I couldn't stop thinking about him, the alpha from yesterday. His eyes had been so intent, like they saw more than they should. His voice, rich and smooth, still echoed in my chest as if I'd swallowed it whole. And his scent, gods, his scent, cinnamon. The same sweetness my mother used to bake into soft cookies, the kind that always made me feel safe. Why him? Why now? Why did he smell like that? I gripped the counter, trying to steady the trembling in my fingers. Customers came and went, and I forced my smile into place, polite and practiced. But inside, confusion churned like a restless tide. Cinnamon haunted me, curling around my thoughts no matter how hard I tried to shake it. The pastries were sealed in their cases. There was no way I should have been smelling cinnamon so vividly. And yet, I could. My mouth watered. I wanted cinnamon cookies so badly it hurt, like I was parched, and only that scent could quench me. By the time my shift ended, I'd messed up more orders than I had in years. By closing time, the cafe was hushed, the chairs were stacked, the air still smelled like sugar and steam. I wiped down the last table, my movements slow, thoughts tangled in the stranger's eyes, his voice, his scent. He smelled like something I had forgotten, like something I'd been missing, without knowing it. The thought slipped through me, uninvited, leaving warmth I couldn't name. I shook my head quickly, brushing it away. Soul bonds weren't real. Not for me. They were stories, nothing more. I locked the door, flipped the sign to closed, and stepped into the cool night air. Still, the scent lingered, clinging to me like a memory I couldn't wash away.
The old house smelled of polished wood and aged leather, faint smoke clinging to the fireplace, no matter the season. My father sat across from me, posture straight and unyielding, a glass of amber liquor balanced in his hand. His presence had always filled a room without effort, much like mine did now. But tonight, I felt small, restless. I turned the glass in my own hands without drinking, the ice melting into thin rings. My pulse hadn't steadied since yesterday. "Something is troubling you," my father said at last, his voice low and calm. "I can hear it in the way you breathe." I hesitated, throat tight. For a moment, I wanted to keep it to myself, guard this fragile new truth until it felt less like fire under my skin. But it was too heavy, too alive, too consuming. I stammered, then forced the words out. "I've found my soul bond." My father's brows lifted. "Your soul bond?" The word hung in the air like thunder. I nodded once. His gaze sharpened. "Who is she? Who are her parents? Where is she from? Does our family know hers? Who is this Omega?" "Not she." My voice came rough, raw. "He. A boy." For the first time in years, I saw my father's composure falter. His glass shifted in his grip before he set it down, his fingers unsteady. "What did you say, son?" His voice was heavy with disbelief. "Did you just say your soul bond is a man, a male Omega?" "Yes." I forced myself to meet his gaze. "My Omega, my soul bond." "Son, this has not been heard of for many generations," my father said sharply, warning threaded with fear. "Are you sure?" "Yes," I said. 100%. I swallowed hard. Every part of me feels it. I haven't been the same since I left him yesterday. My heart aches when I'm not near him. Silence stretched long and taut. "Zan," my father said carefully, "you know what this means. To bind yourself to him would mean giving up your duty, our family's name, our line. It would end with you." The words struck deep, not because I hadn't thought them, but because I had. 12 times. "I know," I whispered, "but when I saw him, when I scented him, it was real." I leaned forward, voice lower now. "All the stories you told me as a boy, about bonds and fate, about recognition so deep, it makes the earth tilt beneath your feet." I exhaled. They were all true. My father's voice dropped. "And yet, he cannot give you children." I shut my eyes. The truth burned. My whole life, I'd never doubted I'd pass my name, my blood, my legacy to a child of my own. To bind myself to a man was to abandon that. But when I opened my eyes, the answer was already there. "Father," I said softly, "I love him already. I don't even know his name, but I feel incomplete without him." My father leaned back, his expression clouded. "Your mother and I had you late in life," he said quietly. "We tried for years, the business, our legacy. It was almost lost once already." His voice tightened. "And now it will end with you." He stared at me like the words hurt to say. "The fates are cruel to us, Zan." My heart hammered, but my voice didn't shake. "All I know," I said, "is that fate is not wrong." I drew in a breath. He is my other half, the piece I didn't know I was missing. I shook my head, jaw tight. "And I can't walk away from him, Dad. I can't." The silence between us stretched. Legacy and duty tightened like chains around my chest. But the thought of leaving my soul bond behind, it was unbearable. "I don't care if the line ends with me," I said, steady. "I don't care if my name is buried with my bones." My voice softened, but the truth in it sharpened. "I would rather carry nothing forward than live this life without him." I stood, bowed my head, and left my father's study with my chest burning, not with shame, but with certainty. I slid behind the wheel of my car, his scent still lingering in my lungs, sweet and rich, like cinnamon and honey. I knew where I needed to go, back to him, not to claim, not to demand, just to see. Because now that I'd found him, I couldn't bear the distance.
Thank you for listening to Cozy Fireplace Stories. If you enjoyed this chapter, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Sleep sweet, and I'll meet you by the fire in the next chapter.